Welcome back to Cinema Intel. These films cost hundreds of millions of dollars to produce, and they all have one thing in common: they're huge production budgets. Some of these films were successful at the box office, while others were not. But all of them are fascinating case studies in the cost of making a movie. In this video, we are going to cover the 10 most expensive films ever made. I'll be discussing the budgets of each film, the box office results, and what the critics had to say. So if you're interested in learning more about the most expensive films ever made, or looking for something good to watch, then stick around. Pirates of the Caribbean. At world's end, $300 million. Pirates of the Caribbean was one of the most expensive films ever made at the time of its release. With a production budget of $300 million, the film made a worldwide total of $963.4 million. It is the highest-grossing film of 2007 and the third highest-grossing film in the Pirates of the Caribbean series, making it a success. The film's budget was put to good use, from the elaborate escape from Davy Jones's locker to the epic battle between the Flying Dutchman and the Black Pearl. Pirates of the Caribbean is a visual feast that is sure to amaze audiences of all ages. The film also features an all-star cast, including Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, Orlando Bloom as Will Turner, Keira Knightley as Elizabeth Swann, Bill Nighy as Davy Jones, and Jeffrey Rush as Hector Barbossa. The cast delivers their usual stellar performances, and they help to bring the film's characters to life. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End is a must-see for fans of the franchise, and it's sure to entertain audiences of all ages. Avengers: Infinity War. $325 million. Infinity War was a film that brought together a decade of storytelling into a coherent narrative that balanced all of the heroes. The film's hefty price tag paid off, as Infinity War became the first Marvel film to pass the $2 billion box office threshold. The film was a critical and commercial success, and it was praised for its ambitious scope, its brilliant visuals, and its emotional weight. Infinity War is a must-see for fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's a film that will be remembered for years to come. Some of the key cast members of Infinity War include Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Chris Evans as Captain America, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, and Josh Brolin as Thanos. These actors all gave incredible performances, and they helped to bring the film's characters to life. Infinity War is a true ensemble film, and it's a testament to the talent of its cast that the film works as well as it does. Fast X $340 million. Fast X is a 2023 American action film directed by Louis Leterrier and written by Chris Morgan and Justin Lin. It is the 10th installment in the Fast and Furious franchise. The film stars Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto, Tyrese Gibson as Roman Pierce, Chris Bridges as Tej Parker, John Cena as Jacob Toretto, Charlize Theron as Cypher, and Jason Momoa as the mysterious villain. The film is set after the events of F9, when Dom Toretto and his family are living a quiet life. However, their peace is shattered when a mysterious woman, Charlize Theron, enlists their help to stop a terrorist organization from using a dangerous weapon. Fast X had a budget of $340 million, making it one of the most expensive films ever made. The film's critics have been mostly positive, with many praising the action sequences and the performances of the cast. However, some critics have criticized the film's over-the-top plot. Overall, Fast X is expected to be a successful film at the box office. The film has already grossed over $719.1 million worldwide from its international release. Avengers: Endgame $356 million. Avengers: Endgame was the culmination of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Infinity Saga. The film had a production budget of $356 million, and it grossed over $2.79 billion at the box office, making it the highest-grossing film of all time at the time of its release. The film's story follows the remaining Avengers as they attempt to reverse the events of Avengers: Infinity War, in which Thanos wiped out half of all life in the universe. The film stars Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Chris Evans as Captain America, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, and Josh Brolin as Thanos. The film was a critical and commercial success, and it was praised for its emotional story, its satisfying conclusion to the Infinity Saga, and its stunning visuals. Endgame is a must-see for fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's a film that will be remembered for years to come. Avengers Age of Ultron, $365 million. Avengers Age of Ultron was the sequel to the 2012 film Avengers. Surprisingly, it's the most expensive film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thus far, the film had a production budget of $365 million, and it grossed over $1.4 billion at the box office. The film's story follows the Avengers as they attempt to stop Ultron, a sentient robot created by Tony Stark that has gone rogue. The film stars Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Chris Evans as Captain America, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, and Paul Bettany as Vision. The film was a critical and commercial success, and it was praised for its action sequences, its visual effects, and its performances. With a hefty price tag, Age of Ultron is the most expensive Marvel film ever made. Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, $379 million. On Stranger Tides was the fourth film in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise and is the most expensive film ever made for the franchise. The film had a production budget of $379 million, and it grossed over $1 billion at the box office. The film's story follows Captain Jack Sparrow as he searches for the Fountain of Youth. Along the way, he teams up with Angelica, the daughter of his enemy Blackbeard. The film stars Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, Penelope Cruz as Angelica, Ian McShane as Blackbeard, Jeffrey Rush as Hector Barbossa, and Kevin R. McNally as Joshua Gibbs. The film was a commercial success, but it was not as well received critically as previous films in the franchise. However, it is still an entertaining film with some great action sequences and visual effects. Avatar: The Way of Water, $400 million. The Way of Water is the sequel to the highest-grossing film of all time, Avatar. The film had a budget of $400 million. However, there have been claims that the film was over budget as it accumulated costs of up to $1 billion. The film was a success as it has grossed over $2 billion at the box office so far. The film stars Zoe Saldana as Neytiri, Sam Worthington as Jake Sully, Sigourney Weaver as Dr. Grace Augustine, Stephen Lang as Colonel Miles Quaritch, Cliff Curtis as Tonawari, and Kate Winslet as Ronal. The film is set more than a decade after the events of the first film, and it follows the Sully family, Jake, Neytiri, and their children, as they battle new threats on Pandora. The film has been praised for its stunning visuals, its immersive soundscape, and its emotional story. The Way of Water is a must-see for fans of the first film, and it's a film that will be remembered for years to come. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, $416 million. The Rise of Skywalker was the final installment in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. The film was directed by J.J. Abrams and starred Daisy Ridley as Rey, Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, John Boyega as Finn, Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron, Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, and Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. The film follows Rey as she attempts to redeem Kylo Ren and defeat the First Order. The Rise of Skywalker was a critical and commercial disappointment. The film was criticized for its messy plot, its reliance on fan service, and its treatment of Carrie Fisher's character. The film did perform at the box office, grossing over $1 billion worldwide against a production budget of $416 million. The film's high budget was due in part to its extensive use of CGI, its large cast, and its ambitious special effects. Although The Rise of Skywalker performed at the box office, it was considered a blunder by critics. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, $432 million. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is a 2018 American science fiction action film directed by Jay Bayona. It is the sequel to Jurassic World and the fifth installment in the Jurassic Park franchise. The film stars Chris Pratt as Owen Grady, Bryce Dallas Howard as Claire Dearing, and Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm. The film is set 3 years after the events of Jurassic World, when the island of Isla Nublar is now a volcanic wasteland. Claire Dearing, Bryce Howard, and Owen Grady, Chris Pratt, are recruited to return to the island to rescue the remaining dinosaurs before the volcano erupts. Fallen Kingdom had a budget of $432 million, making it the second most expensive film ever made at the time of its release. The film was a box office success, grossing over $1.3 billion worldwide. The film's cast was praised for their performances, with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard receiving particular acclaim. The film's visual effects were also praised, with many critics calling them some of the best ever seen in a dinosaur film. However, the film's story was criticized by some critics, who felt that it was too similar to the previous Jurassic Park films. Overall, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom was a successful film, but it did not receive the same critical acclaim as its predecessor. Star Wars: The Force Awakens, $447 million. The Force Awakens is the first installment in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, following the story of Return of the Jedi, 1983, and stars Harrison Ford as Han Solo, Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, Daisy Ridley as Rey. Set 30 years after Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens follows Rey, Finn, and Poe Dameron's search for Luke Skywalker and their fight against Kylo Ren and the First Order. The film had a budget of $447 million, making it the most expensive film ever made at the time of its release. It grossed over $2 billion worldwide, becoming the third highest-grossing film of all time. The film's cast was praised, with Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher receiving acclaim for their returns to their iconic roles. Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, and Oscar Isaac were also praised for their performances. The film's special effects, action sequences, and musical score were also praised. The critics were generally positive about the film, with many calling it a return to form for the Star Wars franchise. Some critics felt that the film was too similar to the original Star Wars film, while others felt that it was a refreshing take on the franchise. Overall, Star Wars: The Force Awakens was a critical and commercial success, and is the most expensive film ever. However, it is important to note that these are production estimates from public records. Production studios sometimes exceed the budget, but never disclose to the public. And if the claims about Avatar: The Way of Water are true, then that film will be the most expensive film ever made, with claims the production exceeded the $1 billion mark. That's all for this video on the most expensive films ever made. I hope you enjoyed learning about these epic productions. Let me know in the comments which film on the list is your favorite. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching.